Whose land is this? My land. Well, our war.
Save your time, save your money. Welcome to Rotten Real Roll. I'm Sinman. Today, we're discussing Martin Scorsese's new film, Killers of the Flower Moon. Before we dive in, we kindly request that if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Don't forget to ring that bell so you won't miss our updates. Thank you.
Do not let them die alone.
Regarding this highly anticipated work, often hailed as the best film of 2023, you've likely already come across plenty of information. You know about the lead actors, Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. You know it's based on a true story, recounting a 1920s murder case involving Native Americans in Osage County, Oklahoma. In addition, you probably encountered similar comments like, Leonardo DiCaprio delivers the best performance of his career, or, I hope this film becomes a monument, ensuring we never forget the sins committed by white Americans. Indeed, a quick search on YouTube or a glance at IMDb's comment section reveals a deluge of similar remarks. Occasionally, a few dissenting voices emerge, and their complaints follow a common thread. The film's over 3-hour runtime, a somewhat sluggish plot, lack of tension, and gripping storytelling that occasionally lulls audiences to slumber. In a nutshell, it's criticized for lacking entertainment value. So, I won't reiterate these points. Let's delve into something fresh. The Osage Tribe Native American Reservation lies in Osage County, Oklahoma. Once barren and desolate, the discovery of oil turned the Osage tribe into the wealthiest on Earth. Oil brought wealth but also death. Over the years, dozens of Osage tribe members died mysteriously, while law enforcement's investigations seemed cursory at best. That is until an FBI agent decided to dig deeper. This film's story unfolds against this backdrop. Leonardo DiCaprio portrays earnest, and not-so-bright white young man returning from World War I. He's also a suspect in a murder case, where the victim is his beloved Native American wife, Molly. Robert De Niro plays his uncle, William Hale, a well-liked white businessman in the community. Jesse Plemons takes on another pivotal role, an FBI agent investigating the case. After a brief plot recap, let's get to the point. When assessing this film, we face two major hurdles: the issue of its political stance and the fact that it's a Martin Scorsese film. In essence, these two challenges are intertwined, a clash between independent film critique and succumbing to certain beliefs or authorities. Once most people have labeled a film with a specific tag, it becomes challenging for many to offer an objective, hurtful evaluation. For instance, if you rate poorly a film focused on women's rights or racial equality, it might seem as if you lack empathy or even hold racist or sexist views. Similarly, when a renowned director releases a new work, few dare to express, "I don't think it's as great as everyone claims." Most people will go with the flow, offering 10 points reviews, pretending to appreciate the film and understand its merits. We've seen recent examples of both these scenarios, the former with Barbie and the latter with Oppenheimer. So, what about Killers of the Flower Moon? It's a big-name director's work with the added labels of anti-colonial and anti-white supremacy. Will these factors influence the film? In my view, yes. It's been influenced, perhaps overvalued, but not excessively so. Overall, it might not quite reach the height of being hailed as the best film of 2023, but it's far from bad. It just doesn't stand out in the vast collection of Martin Scorsese's works. If we were to give it a fair score, it might be closer to 7.6 rather than the current 8.3, akin to The Irishman. Next, I'll explain why. First and foremost, please note that the following analysis represents personal views and may not align with the director's actual intentions during creation. Scorsese's fans know that Marty has an extraordinary fascination with capturing history through film, whether it's the gangster-themed Raging Bull, Boardwalk Empire, Goodfellas, Casino, and The Irishman, or unique historical periods like Taxi Driver, The Aviator, The Wolf of Wall Street, or The Last Temptation of Christ. They all have an epic quality. Killers of the Moonflower doesn't break this pattern. So, when I see comments like this, I can't help but chuckle. The director tells a story about the greed, corruption, and blotched souls of an entire nation over 3.5 hours, reminding people that the United States was born from sin. This is clearly something leftists want to hear and have been ingraining in children, even though it might not be entirely true. The reason is quite simple. If Killers of the Moonflower was merely narrating the same story as Dances with Wolves, does that mean The Irishman with its portrayal of unions as murderous gangsters implies the director's aversion to socialism? Similarly, does The Aviator further prove that Marty endorses capitalism? Likewise, before Killers of the Moonflower, there was a classic film with a similar storyline, Fingersmith, and its Korean adaptation, The Handmaiden. Both narrate a story about a scam artist trying to claim a massive inheritance through a marriage scam, and enlisting another female con artist to pose as a handmaiden and get close to the wealthy female heiress. In Fingersmith, the scam artist is poor, and the victim is an upper-class lady. In The Handmaiden, the deceived heiress is a Japanese noble, and the scam artists are impoverished Koreans who have been colonized. Does this mean these films have strong capitalist and colonialist tendencies, because the working class and indigenous people are portrayed as antagonists? Simply labeling this movie as anti-colonialist because the antagonists are white and the victims are indigenous is a hasty conclusion and underestimates the director. In my view, if we must find a theme in Killers of the Moonflower, it's more likely banality of evil.
In real life, William Hale was the banality of evil.
From the perspective of an ordinary viewer, this film is easy to criticize for a few reasons. Firstly, movies based on real stories often struggle to maintain suspense because most viewers know the outcome from the start. This is why the film has a suspense label, but lacks suspense. Secondly, compared to The Handmaiden with its compelling same-sex love and intricate, ever-twisting emotional relationships, the main plot of this film is much simpler and, consequently, less engaging. Finally, the film doesn't focus much on the murders themselves but dedicates significant time to portraying daily life, including the emotional relationship between Ernest and his Native American wife, which can seem trivial. In summary, this film is quite easy to find dull. However, if you understand that the director's intended theme is the banality of evil, you might gain a fresh perspective. Over 3.5 hours and the extensive portrayal of everyday life serve to slowly lay out the birth and growth of evil. The director doesn't care about the start and end of this history. He's interested in the true causes of this history, hidden in every corner of the process. It's about how banality nurtures and feeds evil, ultimately leading to unimaginable crimes. Ernest is, in fact, an exceptionally banal person. When he returns home, his Uncle Hale warmly calls him a war hero, but in World War I, Ernest was just a mess hall cook, leaving his uncle to reluctantly praise him as at least the hero who fed the real heroes. Ernest doesn't have much talent. He wants to make money, enjoy women, build a family, and secure a decent job. He desperately seeks to win his uncle's approval, who's perceived as a big shot. Reportedly, Leonardo DiCaprio was initially set to play the FBI agent, but he chose to portray the banal Ernest. Clearly, the latter character's personality offers more challenge. A role where an ordinary person gradually descends into evil can be more captivating than a boring detective. It even has the potential to earn him another Oscar. Scorsese provides Ernest and Hale with many lengthy dialogue scenes, especially with Ernest. At the start of the film, Ernest seems enthusiastic and genuinely loves Molly. However, he is also Hale's good nephew. Hale asks him to commit murder, and Ernest's resistance is feeble. He repeatedly seeks confirmation that his uncle's orders are indeed genuine, without considering the morality of these orders. Ernest is not inherently wicked or exceedingly greedy. He's just banal. As for Hale, Robert De Niro portrays one of the best antagonists he's played in recent years. The terrifying aspect of this character lies in his sincerity and purity. I say sincerity because this cult leader genuinely believes in his twisted beliefs, and genuinely thinks that encouraging Ernest to murder is for his own good. He treats the Osage people kindly on one hand but feels no guilt or human empathy when committing these murders because in his mind, the Osage are like livestock he's herding, and we white people are the real farmers. Thus, he treats them well while sending them to the slaughterhouse, a logic that's chillingly self-consistent. Therefore, the film quickly depicts the murder scenes with a great deal of dark, absurd humor. the killers don't even bother plotting meticulously. Who meticulously plans how to kill a sheep? Note that Hale doesn't believe he's doing this for his own gain, but about collectivistic we white people, a purely evil, Hitleresque belief. As a result, Hale establishes another layer of relationship beyond being Ernest's uncle. He becomes a Führer, and Ernest, his follower. In Ernest's mind, Hale's image is larger than reality, an authority figure he's conjured up, providing him with a sense of purpose and security, allowing him to abandon critical thinking and moral responsibility. Hale doesn't physically carry out these murders. It's the banal Ernest who does. Real catastrophes don't result from criminal masterminds but from ordinary people who depend entirely on authority, who abandon critical thinking and cast aside all moral responsibility. Just as Hitler didn't personally kill many Jews, the film's killings aren't done by Hale but by the banal Ernest. The real disaster in life isn't caused by criminal geniuses, but by the entirely unexceptional people who absolutely obey, erasing their consciences. Looking back, we could say that this film is like an American version of Schindler's List. It just presents the Nazi side of the story. It's not just about crimes committed by white people against indigenous people, but the banality of evil that can occur in any corner of the world, among any group. As long as an ambitious person conspires with a crowd of mediocrity and adds a certain kind of collectivistic belief, such catastrophes can be replicated anywhere. In the 1920s in Osage County and the 1930s in Germany, it was racism. In 2023, it has mutated into Hamas, the new anti-Semitism under the guise of sympathy for the weak. In the United States, a female banker from Citibank openly supported Hitler. In Sweden, the environmental activist Greta Thunberg openly displayed an octopus toy that symbolizes anti-Semitism, saying, "We stand with Gaza." In China, countless ordinary netizens flooded movie rating websites, lowering the score of Schindler's List to 4.3 and boosting the Empire of Destruction to 9.9. And their reasons are all noble, like for women and children, or oppose American hegemony, just like the sophistry Hale tells Ernest. Perhaps this is also why the film is titled Killers, and not Killer, or The Killers. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share our video. And don't forget to ring the bell for updates, so that YouTube's algorithm can better recommend our channel. See ya!